Eternal.
Your end approaches.
All will be swept away by the wind.
Bloom.
Blade of moonlight. In lunar flame.
I failed to send you. Savor it for me. Receive divinity. Repay. The dead return!
Existence is unity. Eternal.
The fight is set. Oh!
All will be swept away by the wind.
The dead return!
Existence is unity.
Blade of moonlight. In lunar flame.
Bloom. Repay.
All will be swept away by the wind.
I failed to send you.
In lunar flame.
Eternal.
The dead return! Your end approaches. Receive divinity. Repay.
Blade of moonlight.
All will be swept away by the wind.
In lunar flame.
Existence is unity.
Blade of moonlight.
I failed to send you.
Eternal.
Savor it for me. Bloom. The dead return!
In lunar flame. Blade of moonlight.
All will be swept away by the wind.
In lunar flame.
Existence is unity.
Blade of moonlight. Where there are people, there is noise.
Trouble ahead. Proceed. I'm with you.
Cool it.
For the theater of the mediocre.
Glory above all. Repay. This storm shall pass. Wretched and fleeting.
Answer me. Fail.
Threat raised.
Until I will protect all beauty.
Damage. Component damage.
I'll see you off.
1,000 wonders to raise. Fight as one. Can we talk?
The beauty is eternal.
Threat raised.
I will protect all beauty.
Threat raised. Copy. Suppress.
A test. Receive divinity. My gratitude is yours.
Yeah.
Adjust.
Mission failed.
0 points. SAS Perkibi. Knowledge, the measure of truth and falsehood.
Eternal step.
Dead return! Mediocre.
Wretched and fleeting. I will protect all beauty.
Seize the moment. Yeah.
Answer me. Fail.
You chose the wrong enemy. The beauty is eternal. I will protect all beauty.
Seize the moment. Yeah.
Your answers? Adjust. 0 points.
Embrace virtue. Wretched and fleeting. I will protect all beauty. Bloom.
Better late than
Repay.
never.
I'm asking questions. Answer me. SAS Perk. Knowledge, the measure of truth and falsehood.
1,000 wonders. Fight as one.
Until I will protect all beauty. Let's settle this. The beauty is eternal. I will protect all beauty. Eternal step.
Dead return!
Welcome, customers. Yeah.
I'll be taking
Please stay
point.
tuned.
Burn away.
Firefly Type 4. Activate!
You won't get away.
The mood is set. Let the show begin!
Target sighted. All units on attack!
Time for an overhaul.
Like fun until everything burns to ashes.
Perhaps humanity never conceals its desire to control the heavens, and I'm no exception.
This is more than a battle. Fight to live.
You won't get away.
Attack
Step up,
detected.
let's see ya. Nice, like it, my friends. Indulge yourselves!
Great teamwork.
Firefly Type 4 in position.
I have something for you.
Take your positions.
Danger ahead. Ready yourself.
Please stay tuned.
Burn away!
Watch yourself.
You won't get away.
Target sighted. All units on alert. Detonate.
Dreams do come true. The mood is set. Let the show begin!
Like until everything burns to ashes! Set the seas ablaze!
Perhaps humanity never conceals its desire to control the heavens, and I'm no exception.
Nice, like my friends. Indulge yourselves!
You won't get away.
It ain't over.
Fight to live!
Stay in step.
In the mood for another.
Time for an overhaul.
Set the seas ablaze!
You won't get away.
Still the same one.
Joining the battle. Attack!
Take your positions.
Step up, let's see ya.
You won't get away. Perhaps humanity never conceals its desire to control the heavens, and I'm no exception.
Nice, like it, my friends. Indulge yourselves! It's nothing. Oh! Stand in position. Detonate.
Like until everything burns to ashes! Fight to live!
You won't get away.
Barely felt it!
The mood is. Let the show begin! Stay in step.
This is more set the seas ablaze!
You've got a lot of nerve.
Fight to live!
Time to mix things up.
Much obliged.
Joining the battle. Attack!
the secret side of me I never let you see. I keep it caged, but I can't control it. So stay away from me, the beast is ugly. I feel the rage and I just...
Skyward! Skyward! Scatter! Gotcha! Quietly now. Into the wind. Time to go. Busted.
Whirling snow. Yeah! I only wish life could be as leisurely as this a little more often. How greedy of me. blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems.
Strider. Yeah! Skyward! Scatter! Take flight! Knows me. Gotcha.
Thank you for Add Astra.
Gutsy. Into the wind. As one with wind and cloud. Skyward. With nature. Skyward! Scatter!
Here comes the catch. Take it easy.
What's your car? That's some time. Should replace my hammer.
Navigating the world is a...
Let's go to Samara City and catch up with...
Need me to come up with some for you?
Wow, the academia sure is busy during the day. But where should we go looking for people that we know?
Traveler, Paimon.
Sino! It's been so long since we last saw you!
As do you. You don't seem weary at all from your travels. If anything, you seem stronger. So,
Oh, nothing in particular. I just saw a really big mushroom out on the road the other day and suddenly missed all our friends in Sumeru.
funnily enough, we were reminiscing about you recently too. It was at a group dinner. I look forward to hearing about your travels. Something tells me we must have a lot to catch up on.
Really? You were thinking of us too?
Indeed. Or as I call...
Uh...
You really want me to say the rest? Okay. It's always rice to meet stew again.
Oh, darn, he said it.
You like that one, huh? You must if you remember it after all this time. Admit the truth. You have long been in awe of my razor-sharp wit.
All right. Here's your 500 Mora.
You're exaggerating. It's only 500 Mora.
Hey, 500 Mora is still a lot of snacks to Paimon.
All right. I'll treat you to some desserts later. Anyway, I'm actually investigating a case right now. My mind is focused on work, which is why I didn't complete the joke at first.
A case? What happened?
Nothing major. But after finding out who was involved, I decided...
Need any help? We only came here to hang out, so we've got the time. You may as well take us with you, and then when you're done, we can,
Such enthusiasm. Are you worried I'll forget about treating you to some...
What? No! All right, was it really that obvious?
Obvious enough. Still, it's a fine idea. You are the heroes of Sumeru. All right, follow me. Do you see him? The old man flailing around?
Oh, is he the one you wanted to talk to about?
Correct. His name is Cyrus, a former Spontamot sage. He taught both me and Lisa.
Huh? Sino's teacher?
It's ridiculous. I'm just an old man who enjoys a spot of gardening, shopping, and wine. What sort of person targets an...
Professor, I've brought some friends.
Ah, Sino. Now, who do we have here? Hold on, let me think. A flying fairy dressed in white? A youth who does not seem... My goodness. You must be the legendary traveler in Paimon. I've heard all about what you've done for Sumeru.
Wow!
I've told him about you before. You are my friends, after all. That's right. A couple of days ago, Professor Cyrus suddenly received a threat letter.
A threat letter?
Exactly. Who sends a threat letter to an old man like me, for goodness sake?
This is the letter in question.
Cyrus, I have uncovered your secret. If you wish to prevent it from going public, leave 10 million Mora at the back door of the cafe. Secondly, don't come looking for me. You'll never find me. But I will always be watching you and all of your secrets. Finally, if you dare to report this to the Matra, wow, they sure didn't mince their words.
Clearly, this person must be...
10 million more. I'm just a single retiree with nothing to my name beyond the tomatoes in my garden. Where do people think I'm...
There were no witnesses, so currently the letter is all we've got. So, Traveler, Paimon?
Paimon's ready to...
All right, take a look. Yes.
So is there something wrong with...
Possibly. And I bet the paper has something to...
Most of the paper around here is much smoother than this, and the ink is absorbed quickly so it doesn't run. This paper...
It's certainly not the same paper as we use in the academia, but the ink is nothing special. Just regular black ink. Like,
So do we think the culprit has a connect? Wait, check this out. Looks like this part got wet at some point.
agreed. The staining suggests it was a colored liquid, not plain water.
A colored liquid?
Well, it's like we're thinking along similar lines. Let's go talk to Araf. There are some things.
Araf.
Mahamatra Sino. Sir Cyrus. Ah, and the Traveler and Paimon. It's been a while.
As such, I'm inclined to believe that the culprit in this case is a student. Oh, one last thing. I'd start your investigation by taking a look.
Oh, of course! You think the culprit spilled their coffee on the...
They do look like coffees. Also, if I'm not mistaken, the letter is written on a type of scented paper that has aromatics added during the manufacturing process. The kind often provided as writing material for customers in cafes.
Ah, of course. Yes, like they sell in the gift shops. I remember.
Understood. I'll assemble a team to investigate the points of interest immediately.
You have my gratitude.
One last thing. Send some Matra to guard the entrances and exits of Sumeru City. And change into plain clothes. Don't let them see you coming.
Will do.
Great thinking, Sino. So, where do we think the culprit's at right now? Yeah, they've probably been lying low at home waiting to see how Cyrus reacts. Really?
The culprits approach. Whatever happens, they need this Mora. But just because they warned Professor Cyrus not to go to the Matra, doesn't mean they know what he'll do next. So, like you said, they need to wait and see. And crucially, the culprit said they'd be—
Huh? Wait, are you saying...
Found you! You wrote the threat letter!
I don't know what you're talking—
I sensed someone was watching us from the shadows the moment we entered the House of Dana. You managed to stay relatively well hidden for someone reckless enough to threaten. There are a lot of people here, but we were looking specifically for Araf. Whoever followed us the whole way was likely to be the culprit.
I was just listening in, that's all. You know something big's going down when Mahamatra Sino shows up, right?
You smiled when Araf left. I saw—
Is smiling a crime now?
There are coffee stains on the letter. You mixed some coffee with water, gently smeared it onto the paper, then wiped it off with a wet cloth. All to create the impression that the letter was written at a cafe. Closing off the exits to the city doesn't affect you, because you already live here. And as long as the Matra were focused on the cafes, you would be free from— The cafe was a red herring all along. You had to be somewhere where you could monitor the professor's move.
You can't pin this on me!
Really? Then why are you shaking like a leaf? The innocent have no reason to fear the mob. Your heart's racing, and your eyelids are twitching. You're a terrible liar.
I would—
Don't try anything or you'll pay the price.
Well, that was over...
You're telling me. 1 minute I go out for a quick smoke, the next minute I see Arav already on his way back to meet up with Sino. Looked like a young guy, too. Couldn't have been much more than 30. But after what he's done, I'm afraid he's ruined—
Everyone, it's all over.
Gosh, that was so...
The culprit's name is Uraka. A 16—
Huh?
16? Cyrus the...
We checked his records. He's 16.
But he looks so—
Yeah,
foolish child. He's too young for the—
We question the culprit regarding his motive.
Oh, just spit it out.
Very well. It's our understanding that Araka is a mediocre student who has been underperforming in his classes. He started taking down on his luck. He went to the tavern for a drink and overheard some people chatting about Sir Cyrus's comfortable retirement. They mentioned that he's always arguing about his tomato plants with some old woman on the street.
Some old woman on the street? Goodness gracious. Has that rascal attended a single one of his classes? That old woman is Kasharwar's very own Professor Zaha Hadi. How
Is this going?
Oh, right, yes. So another thing. We don't just argue about tomato plants. And what are they trying to insinuate by comfortable retirement? A man grows a few vegetables and suddenly he's living a life.
Maybe it's more the fact that you have the time to grow vegetables.
Araka mentioned he'd heard a rumor, alleging that Sir Cyrus illegally obtained a large sum of money from the desert before retiring. Araka believes this money to be the reason why Sir Cyrus hasn't kept up with any academic research or other projects since his retirement.
Oh, Araka. I'm at a loss for words. I'm so angry I don't know where to
People make up rumors all the time. I am quite confident that Professor
Arav, you'll have to find some excuse to interrogate Araka again later. I need you to deliver a few firm fistfuls to him on my—
I completely understand how you feel, Sir Cyrus.
Professor.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
The academia will determine the appropriate disciplinary action against the student. And as for the individuals spreading rumors about the professor's obsession with tomatoes and some old woman on the street.
Who said I'm obsessed with some old woman on the street? Mind your what? You seem confused. Uraka is just a young boy who made a very rash and very stupid decision based on some groundless rumor he heard. All it costs me is a little reputation.
Please rest assured, Professor, that the academia will—
Yes, I have no doubt about that. But as a former educator, I'd still like to have a serious conversation with the boy's parents.
We looked into the family. Both parents are merchants, and they're often away on business.
Oh, what a— You don't have to seal the evidence away yet, do you? I'd like to have that letter back for the time being, if possible. We have to show them how serious this situation.
The relevant authorities have already reviewed the evidence and are now discussing Araka's punishment. You can
Oh, so you'll be able to close the case.
Give or take. Cases like this.
Very good. Well, thank you for all your help. Perhaps we can all go for a meal together. Oh,
My apologies, Sir Cyrus, but I have a prior commitment.
Ah, I see. Well, that's a pity. And isn't Tainari in town at the moment? Bring him along, too.
Wait, you mean Tainari?
He is. Tainari's master, Sir Nephis, called him and Kale to the academia to help out on a project. They should be at Nephis's office at this hour. Though I must say, I'm surprised you're extending an invitation to Tainari.
Don't be outrageous. Nephis offends me all the time. Anyway, hurry up and fetch Tainari. I'll head over to the tavern. Go on now. Not to brag, but we never had problems like this at Ratawa Hist back when I was still teaching. And if you don't want to take my word for it, you can ask them. They were students at the time. They'll tell you what it was like. Won't they?
I was out in the forest at least 4 days a week back then, thanks to a colossal workload from Master. It wrought havoc on my poor tail, so I didn't exactly keep up to date with what was going. Most of what I know, I heard from Sino after.
Professor's become a lot more laid back in his retirement. He used to be far stricter, and was especially known for being extremely principled.
Wow. It's hard enough to stay true to your principles as a normal person. I can't imagine doing that as a sage.
It's a pity Kale wasn't around at the time. I would have happily taken her on as a student.
And then we'd have one more person who has to address Lisa as upper-class woman.
Really? Can't you just call her Lisa? She seems to prefer it when people treat her like an...
Oh, believe me, back when she was a student, nothing made her happier than the younger students acknowledging her seniority.
Whoa, more food? Are you sure about this? We don't want to take advantage.
Oh, don't worry about it. Order whatever you like. And if it's not enough, order some more. After all your help today, treating you to dinner is the least I can do.
I thought I heard some familiar voices. And Sir Cyrus is here as...
Oh, Kaveh, it's been a while. Zahahadi was talking about you last month.
I've been all right, thank you. You're looking very well, sir.
Have you eaten yet?
That's awfully kind of you, but I had a late lunch, so I'm not really hungry just yet. I just came to Lombard's to buy some wine, and when I heard some voices I recognized... So what's the occasion, anyway?
Consolation, more like.
Sounds like things have really gone downhill since I was there. My whole time as a student, I've never heard of anything remote.
I can't believe how young the guy is.
Young people are always more susceptible to making rash and ill-advised decisions. But still, this boy has some nerve.
Wow, yeah.
I will always be watching you and all of your secrets. And
if this were my son, he'd get the scolding of a lifetime.
Luckily, I'm also an extremely principled person.
Kaveh! Your order's ready, sir!
Coming. I'll have to get going. Have a nice evening, everyone. I'll catch you...
Okay, bye-bye!
Here I am. The coffee beans are in here, too?
Yep, it's all there. I'll stop babbling away now. Let's eat before the food...
Oh, too tasty. Bye.
Oh, mine too. I'll have to walk home to burn some of it off.
thanks for dinner, Sir Cyrus. Master Tainari and I will bring you some homemade herbal tea next time.
Well, I look forward to that. In fact, could I trouble you to bring a little...
No problem at all. I'll pack some up and bring it over.
I'll see you all later. I better head home now and tend to the crops.
Good night, Professor. Don't let those tomatoes...
Hey, my tomatoes are serious business. I am not about to be beaten by Zahahadi. Anyway, I'll be leaving now. Don't stay up too late now, children. I bid you all a good night.
Take care. Have a safe trip.
All right.
What do you mean?
Well, I was talking with Tainari and Kale, and since we all have some free time, we thought we could all go camping together.
Camping? Oh, that sounds fun. Paimon's in!
Right? It's been so long since we did something fun together.
Everyone, let's meet tomorrow afternoon at the... No need to bring anything. We've already packed everything for the trip.
You got it!
Great. Then we'll see you tomorrow.
Time to set off. Let's head to the southeast of Gandharvaville and meet up with the others.
Good roll. All right, maybe I'll take one more day off. and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it.
We're here! Wow, you guys are ahead of the game. You set up the tents already.
I'd say we're right about on schedule, actually. We were aiming to have them set up before...
Traveler, Paimon, let's go fishing together. Whatever we catch, we can grill for dinner tonight.
You got it. Dinner's on us tonight.
I hope I can contribute too. The other forest watchers gave me some fishing tips a little while ago. I'm really looking forward to
I saw some very appetizing mushrooms in the area, so I gathered a few for us. I'll leave them here along with some fresh fruit.
Wow, camping with a forest watcher is the way to go. They think of everything. And even if they don't, they can improvise.
This is true. I don't think I've ever had a single rough day in this forest.
So, how is everything?
Well, there's been some high points and low points.
I see. Oh, in that case, you should try a valberry. I bought some from the market.
A valuable suggestion.
All I wanted was to recommend something bitter.
Oh, I have a sudden craving for fruit tea. I'm gonna go fetch some stuff. Bye!
She sure made a run for it.
Unbelievable. She made a run for it.
So Kale chose the path of tactical retreat. Could it be she foresaw what shall soon... My dear friend, you know what I am about to say. Oh, drat. A flat-out rejection. But this isn't over. It's only a matter of time before I challenge you.
Ugh, this guy. Somebody make it stop.
I'll reel it in.
Firewood, spices, snacks, and drinks. Everything's ready. There are 3 tents. Which one do you two want to take?
How about the one on the left? Well, Paimon just thinks the ambiance here is a little better.
True. But it's also the closest to the water, if there are any sleepwalking fungi around tonight.
Well, that's no good. Take my...
Anyone would think you were sealing the gates to King Deshret's mausoleum.
Excellent. Then this tent will be an...
I'm back! How's your appetites? Ready for the barbecue?
Always. Oh, it smells so good.
Someone sure is desperate to eat. I think it's time to add the seasoning. How do you like your skewers? Well done? Medium? Rare?
Wait, what?
Hey, if it works for steak...
Medium well for me.
Okay, these are about ready now then. It'll be a few more minutes for anyone who wants theirs.
Oh, that was so delicious. If Paimon's stomach had spit...
I ate a lot too. Here comes the food coma.
If you're tired, then go rest.
You must be getting sleepy too, Paimon. Why don't you guys head to your tents? Sino and I will clean up.
Tonight I show you mercy. Ours...
one's struggling to keep her eyes open.
Oh, don't forget this. The staff of the Scarlet Sands.
Wait, you were actually being serious about that?
It's a very powerful weapon.
Paimon can't even
Fair enough.
Yeah, Paimon's sure. We'll be fine. And even if we do get an uninvited guest in the night,
That reminds me of a parting Kinkpa right now. It's time to...
I think they should all... Traveler? Paimon? Look at this. What the... What's this sword doing here? Evidently.
Huh? Who is it? Paimon's gonna take out the sword. Yeah! Oh, hey them, Kaveh!
Sorry to wake you up at this hour of the night, but
Let's get dressed and talk about it outside.
Something has come up, and since it pertains to Cyrus and Sino, I deemed it essential to inform you all.
Whoa, back up. Let's start from the beginning. Huh? Where'd the wine cups go? I could have sworn I left them here after I washed them. Ah, there they are.
I'll have a cup too.
Can you see if the cookies are still on the table?
They are.
Oh, this is so bland. I should have gotten a few bottles of what's...
Do tell.
Oh, right, I forgot to mention. So, I ran into Cyrus yesterday evening. Anyway, they got a bottle of Lombard's new vintage for the table. At least, I think that's what it was. It looked pretty good.
Sounds like they're...
You know what it's about, right? 16-year-old kid tried to extort Cyrus.
I heard some people talking about it on the streets, yes. Didn't take them long to catch the culprit.
I wonder what Sir Nephis and the others will make of it. Oh, Cyrus showed me the extortion letter, too. It was crudely written, but the paper had this... give me a sec, I'll sketch it out for you. Okay, done. Take a look. You see what I mean? I don't think I've ever seen writing paper like this around before. God knows where the culprit got it from.
Interesting. These are all motifs associated with the
What?
Take this, for instance. Looks like an outline of a spire, similar to the kind found on some ancient palaces. And the crisscrossing and mirroring here. I recognize that too. It bears a striking resemblance to an ancient emblem, one that hasn't been used in a very...
Whose emblem is it?
It's the emblem of the Temple of Sat.
After discussing it with each other, we both agreed that something didn't feel right. This was a long way to come from the city. Alhaitham figured you were probably with Tainari, so Gandharvaville was our first stop. But the forest Then, just as we were heading off to the campsite, we ran into Sino. He said he was on a supply run.
Hold on. So what's the deal with that emblem you were talking...
Something's up, huh? Give me a second.
So you've never heard of the Temple of Silence? Well, these days, you can find a Temple of Silence office in the academia. Theoretically, it's responsible for the custody and disposal of information and documents. At least, that's what they tell the outside world. In truth, it's essentially, historically speaking, the original Temple of Silence is said to have been established by Hermanubis, one of the 7 pillars of King Deshret and the greatest of all sages. By contrast, none of the Academia Temple's current members are from the desert.
So the Temple of Silence at the Academia is...
It's possible. The real question is...
So, how do you know all this?
Did you forget? He did a stint as acting Grand Sage, and kept the pay raise even after he resigned.
Oh, yeah! Paimon did totally forget about that. So you took the chance to read all the top secret documents.
If you're asking me whether I familiarized myself with the documentation in my office, I would respond that that's a perfectly normal part of...
So much about this doesn't make sense. Why did the emblem of the Temple of Silence appear on a threat letter from an academia student? The student's only 16 and doesn't have any family ties to the desert. So where could he have seen that emblem or gotten...
You said you ran into Sino, yes?
Yep. He ran off as soon as...
Given that Cyrus is involved, he's probably halfway... Still, we should try to catch up.
If the Academia's Temple of Silence really does exist just to cover up the truth, the sudden appearance of this emblem can't be good. We should pay a visit.
Yes. As the Sage of Amorta, my master ought to know the truth about their office. You can ask him to tell you what he knows. The more information...
If this situation is connected to the real Temple of Silence, the emblem has to be part of a bigger conspiracy.
Kale, could I trouble you to send a message to the Core of 30? Traveler, Paimon.
Sounds like a plan.
Cyrus has been living in the city lately. He rented a place near the field so he can keep an eye on his tomato plants. Here we are. This is the place.
We might be too late. Looks like nobody's home. Oh, Sino moves fast. If he was here, he's probably long gone.
I know that voice. Is that Tainari I hear?
Ah! Professor Zahahadi!
Wow, so it really is you. My goodness.
We're looking for Sino.
So, yes, not long ago, in fact. I told him the old fool left early this morning, and I hadn't heard him come back. It must have alarmed Sino, because he took off in an awful hurry after that. He never did explain what this was all about. How serious is it?
Cyrus isn't at home. Oh, it sure doesn't sound good.
Professor, did you hear that a student recently tried to extort Cyrus?
Why, yes. When I left the house that day, I noticed he was watering his flowers in the field in complete silence. He had a piece of... I could tell something was troubling him, but he wouldn't tell me what it was. After seeing the letter, Sino told him to contact the Corps of 30, but Cyrus was very reluctant.
Huh? Cyrus didn't want to report it? Well, that's strange. When we saw him, he seemed pretty okay with the idea of the kid getting his just desserts.
As a former sage, it's possible Cyrus still has enemies at the academia. That's why Sino was so insistent that he report the matter to the authorities. I was there while they were going back and forth over it.
So Cyrus initially hoped to stop this from going...
Oh, dear. What on earth has that... Oh, I almost forgot. Sino left me this letter to pass on.
Thank you.
What does it say? My friends, this is a rather complicated...
Yep, that sounds like Sino. Thank you, Professor. Traveler, Paimon, let's head to...
Skyward!
You're here? I thought you were going after...
We went to Cyrus's house. No one was there.
He didn't say where he was going?
No, he left us alone.
Can't say I'm surprised.
Typical Sino. Anyway, some updates on progress on our end.
I checked some ancient texts for a similar design. The one I found was a little...
Yeah, and we're lucky we found anything at all. It turns out the emblem was all but lost to history. We scout...
Meanwhile, Arav managed to get Uraka to disclose his source. The one who told him about Cyrus's embezzled funds was a young man from the desert. According to Uraka, he had...
Apparently, the two met in the tavern over a game of cards. The guy claimed Uraka was intrigued when he heard what his new acquaintance had to say, and brought up the idea of extorting Cyrus for Mora. The guy encouraged him to go ahead with it.
I see. So it could be that...
So, how do we find this guy?
He doesn't know. He claims not to have seen him since that day in the tavern. The man gave him some...
Nephis and Arav have gone to meet the Corps of 30 and review the city's entry and exit records. Also, Nephis admitted that the Temple of Silence in the Academia is just a facade. The true Temple of Silence once came to the rainforest to establish a collaboration with the Academia. But the Temple of Silence felt that they could no longer trust the Academia and ended the partnership. Ever since its inception, the Temple of Silence has been the guardians of King Deshret's civilization and belief system. They traveled throughout Sumeru, sequestering and guarding any wisdom that posed a threat to the people's livelihood. At its roots, it was a legitimate and reputable organization.
The academia of the day knew that the split would damage their reputation if it became a matter of public knowledge.
Not only that, but they managed to keep up the charade for hundreds of years.
So how did Cyrus become acquainted with the true temple?
I'll bet that's the question that bothered Sino. Probably.
Whoever is behind this, getting Uraka to extort Cyrus was only the first step of the plan. Their true goal in doing so was for Cyrus to see the emblem.
He must have recognized it right away. That'll be why he didn't want to involve the authorities. He probably hoped to take care of the whole thing by himself.
Since the desert is where the Temple of Silence originated, that is an...
I have to go after him.
Really? Are you sure that's a good idea, with how you respond to the heat?
I should be fine, as long as I bring plenty of water. Besides, I just can't shake this ominous feeling.
Everyone, I have news from the Core of 30.
Master!
Oh, so that's Nafis, Tainari's master?
It's a pleasure to meet you, Traveler and Pot. Several independent eyewitnesses have reported seeing Cyrus and Mahamatra Sino leaving the city. I was going to suggest that you join forces with the Core of 30 in this case. However, as I'm sure the Academia has made a number of decisions throughout history that I am ashamed to talk about. It may well be that no better choice was available to them, but those actions are nonetheless a stain. I won't attempt to make you understand the Academia's perspective.
I understand where you're coming from, Master. But I'm afraid the situation might be more complicated than we—
Good point. If Cyrus is involved with the— everyone, we have to get—
Need our help? Whatever you need?
Really? Wonderful. Arav and I will continue to follow up on the lead from Uraka. Kaveh, Scribe Al-Haytham, I'd like to ask you to cover the duties of the House of Dana. Tainari, you're planning to—
I am. Kaveh, I'll be okay. You stay behind to help Master and
Well, if you're sure.
Thank you all. Arav, let's go.
You'd better get moving. Don't forget to ask for help when you need it.
Will do. Let's go, Tainari. Hopefully we can catch up with Sino before it's too late.
Knowing him, he's probably covered a fair distance already.
Okay, we made it to Caravan Ribat. Where should we go next? Maybe we should ask the nearby guards if they've seen anything.
Hold on.
Is that Dia?
You sure you want to brave the desert alone? I mean...
It's not my first time.
Sino!
If you're really going to go through with this, then at least take our advice. When you're packing for your trip, budget for 5 days more than you plan to spend out there.
Makes sense.
Thought we might find you here. You're trying to retrace Cyrus's steps, aren't you?
Didn't I tell you not to come after me? I thought I had a good lead on you.
Well, sorry, but we never agreed to that. Why would you go off on your...
Nothing personal. It's just a complex...
Takes a special kind of person to get Sino chasing them all the way out to Caravan Rebot. But why so coy today, huh? You only gave us his age and description. Why can't you reveal it? Oh, also, hey guys, it's been a while.
Dia and Candace! So now...
You're looking well. Glad to see it. Candace and I came to Caravan Rebot on business. We ran it. Some people say they saw him. Guess he stood out as an older guy heading into the desert alone with... That's gotta be one heck of a story there.
Sino, it's okay if you can't tell us anything about... We're here to help however you need. The more people we...
No, it's not that simple. If I'm right, he'll be doing everything he can to avoid it.
We spoke with Zaha Hadid. From what she said, it's pretty clear that he wants to try and solve this on his own.
Sounds like this is far more complex than we imagined.
Still, if he started from Caravan Rebot, the chances are that his route took him past our village. He may as well...
My thanks to you both. Once this is resolved, I will find a way to repay you.
Come on. No need to get all serious. All right, so...
Yes, we'll handle it from here.
All right, then we'll leave you to it. Just remember, if you change your mind and need some reinforcement...
And don't think you'd be imposing. You...
Don't worry, we'll keep him out of trouble.
Hold on. There's a few things I'd like to clear up.
Go.
So, after you left the...
Clearly, we've only scratched the surface of the Temple of Silence question. It doesn't surprise me at all that the one in the academia is a fake.
Do you have any connection with the Temple of Silence?
I do. I trust you're all aware of the spirit that gives me my power. Hermanubis, the original founder of the Temple of Silence. Due to my unique constitution, I was put through a number of trials in the desert when I was younger. Later, I met the professor, and he brought me to Sumeru City. But my memory of that time is hazy. I can't recall much. It's a good thing that Kaveh noticed the emblem on the letter. Without that, I don't know if we would have connected the dots and realized there was more to this case than mere extort. I did not recognize that symbol at all. Whether that's because I've never seen it, or because my memory fails me, it's...
Yeah, you're right. Thank goodness for Kaveh, and for Al-Haytham's diligence during his time.
But Cyrus must have recognized it right away, right? Otherwise he wouldn't...
I suspect so too. Professor has never once mentioned the Temple of Silence in conversation. And whenever the...
Well, speaking of avoiding things, you do realize, don't you, now that we've caught up with you, you're stuck with us.
I am aware. Or rather, I don't see how I could manage to ditch you en route.
That's right. Fact is, we're coming with you whether you like it or not. So the best option now is to try to look out...
Fair enough. Then at least let me...
Works for me. All right, off we go. Let's start by seeing what the guards here can tell us.
Hello. Mahamatras. I'm looking for someone. So I'd like to confirm...
A man matching that description passed by Aru village not too long ago. He stopped by to load up on...
Where was he going?
Let me think. He took a seat by the entrance of the village for a while, and had a brief chat. Do you have a map? I can mark out the direction he was...
I have one.
Great. There you go.
Thank you so much. You were a great help.
You've got a really good map.
You're quite welcome. Just doing best of luck.
Hold on.
Do you think it's safe to ask...
Should be. I'll go...
No. I'll do it.
Huh? Why can't Sino go talk to them?
Given my background, appearance, and the way I dress...
Hello there. I hope I'm not interrupting. My friend and I are looking for an elderly man who's gone missing.
Oh, a missing person, huh? Sure.
I'm just wondering if you've seen him. Let me give you the...
So, a silver-haired guy in a long robe, culture type with thought...
He'd stand out like a sore thumb around here.
Yeah, sounds like the kind of guy we'd remember if...
He's looking behind me.
Uh-oh.
Your friend over there. Hey, aren't you Sino, the General Mahamat?
Yes,
You don't seem surprised that I recognize.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, you're the one looking for the old man who's...
I have a bad feeling.
Someone's on edge. No need to hide it. I understand why you're wary of us. Still, you came to us at...
I thought you were a group of merchants.
Your henchmen don't look like much. But something tells me they put up a better fight than most mercenaries.
Hey! Hear that, guys? Hear my hint?
Suits me. As long as I get paid for it.
Just cut to the chase already.
Come with me. All of you. Don't you want to find your silver-haired, long-robed culture type with thoughtful eyes?
So you know where he is?
Just follow me. I'll take... In.
What? Where are you looking? There's nothing.
Please, step back.
Whoa, something's coming out of the ground.
What is this enormous building doing here?
And how was it so well hidden?
Wait, so...
Is this the temple?
All good questions. There'll be plenty of time to address them.
This is not what Paimon was expecting to find in the desert, especially not hidden right next to an oasis. Oh, Paimon's scared. They must have kidnapped Cyrus. Do you think this is the guy?
What's wrong? Thinking about your professor?
I just hope for your sake you haven't done...
Me too. Hope I haven't done anything to incur your wrath.
I have high hopes for this journey. All right. You can wait here for now. I'll inform our leader that you've arrived at the Temple of Silence.
So he's just gonna leave us here?
They can't have been at the oasis by chance. They were waiting for us. Whoever the...
So this is the Temple of After leaving the rainforest, they hid...
Hey, look! That guy's coming back.
Don't worry. Someone will come and call for you soon.
What's your name?
Sorry, guess I was. So, my name is Sethos. I'll be here if you need me, but I'm not planning on answering all of your questions. Other than that, you can occupy yourself.
So we're free to...
Yep. I mean, I'm not worried about you running off. Cyrus is here. And unless I've misunderstood...
He's right. Well, if we've got some time, we might as well take a look around.
Hey, Sethos!
Sure. Although, I'm assuming by chat, you mean you have questions for me? Not often. The Temple of Silence is a place of quiet and solitude. We don't get too many Yes, that was me. Although, Tricked is he insisted that nothing was off the table, even if it broke the law. So, I told him that...
So you framed Cyrus for a
No. That's not entirely true. Let me jog your memory. The letter just said, of course, Uraka was a great accomplice, really. Very cooperative with a little bit of wine in him. Did exactly what he was told. And not much of an original thinker, though. It doesn't surprise me that he struggles academically.
Why did Cyrus leave for the desert?
You'll have to ask him that one yourself. Certain things I can't answer for him. I'm neither all you need to know is that he recognized our emblem. And it was his own choice to take the What kind of question is that?
Right, but back at the Oasis...
I've lived in the desert my whole life.
Ugh, why does Paimon feel like this guy...
Come on, we've only just met. If I give you all the answers up front, nope.
Really?
I have no need to go there. Not when the taverns are full of the Urakas of this spies. It's not as quite... Mm-hmm.
I never imagined that the true Temple of Silence would be hit.
That's King Deshret's technology for you, I guess.
We should be wary of our hosts.
Here he is. Grandfather, the person you wish to see is here.
Well done, Sethos. Greetings, one and all. I am Ba Moon, the current leader.
Professor!
Cyrus, are you...
Watch what you're doing!
Oh, my apologies. We have no intention of causing you distress. Cyrus owes me his life. And to the Temple of Silence, he owes a debt of gratitude. I wanted to end my feud with this old bag of bones, but just leave, Sino. This is a matter between...
So that's why you didn't want to report the letter. You'd made up your mind to come here from the beginning. You only left in such a hurry to try and...
Some things in life catch up with you, no matter what you do.
Sino didn't make us do anything. We came here for the same reason he did. To rest...
My secrets are secret for good reason. You're afraid, aren't you? You can't bring yourself to speak of your past. You recognized our emblem because for many years you lived among us. Indeed, you knew as soon as you saw the letter that we, not Uraka, were the ones speaking to you. It threatened you only because you know what you did. For you, Cyrus, are a traitor. You once shared your learning with us and joined us in our mission to but then you betrayed us. You bargained for your independence with your past contributions. And then you left, taking with you Hermanubis's might and We both know what I said to you that day. That as the leader, I grant you permission to leave, but that one day the sands of time will catch up with you. And when that day comes, you must pay the price you owe. You really know how to hold a
Hermanubis is my...
Does he mean you?
But Moon is right. They rescued me from the brink of death once. many years ago in the desert. It was a great, daring plan, and one shrouded in... Bamoon proposed that we implant bar fragments, shards of Herbanubis. Many believers volunteered themselves for the experiment. But we soon discovered that one other child was identified as a suitable vessel, and his parents agreed to release him into our custody.
For many years, the Temple of Silence had been in possession of 2 Ba fragments from Hermanubis. As remnants of his raw power, the test subjects were sent into a room that had been prepared for the ceremony and instructed to approach the Ba fragments. The original plan was for a 3-stage experiment: resonance, implantation, and recovery and observation. The resonance stage went quite smooth. As the 2nd stage began, I realized a decision had to be made. Should we implant the fragments one at a time? This would allow us to monitor the results after the first. But as I was deliberating, both Ba fragments suddenly became active. They glowed with a light we had never seen before. Our 2 vessels had both displayed great promise by successfully resonating with the fragments to preserve our faith and our power. We implanted each of them.
Ultimately, I ended the experiment and left.
In recognition of your past contributions, I chose not to send someone to hunt down and kill you both. Your lives were spared. I have always wanted to see you, Sino. Losing you and your Ba fragment dealt...
I see.
Look, in essence, I borrowed your Ba fragment for a decade or so. But you cannot lift a finger against Sino.
I'm sure you don't remember anymore, dear Sino, but you've met us all before. You and he, Sethos. As a follower of Hermanubis, I have allowed this power to remain in the rainforest for far too long. Now, it is time to reclaim...
That power is not yours to reclaim.
You are wrong. Sino was chosen, but he was not the only one.
So those are your terms for freeing the...
Despise me all you want. My sins are my own. The Temple of Silence is an innocent party.
So what you're saying is, the power of 1 Ba fragment is not enough?
Divine power causes great suffering to those who wield it.
He is no longer a small child. But regardless, this burden is ours.
Both my heart and mind are telling me that what you are proposing is a terrible...
Don't listen to him, Sino.
I know. But if this is a question of your freedom versus a fragment of power, then there is nothing to debate.
Sorry to interrupt, but in my view, there are a number of... Say that Sino refuses to return his power, and you also refuse to release Cyrus. Then we are at an impasse. I find it hard to believe that you went to all this effort without... You're trying to gauge where we stand while keeping your remaining cards close to your chest. Well, my stance is, put the rest of your cards up...
Wait, those ears... So, with everything we have longed for, Hermanubis will provide. Perhaps this very day we'll...
Why is he coughing so much?
Bamoon! Take our leader back to his room. Grandfather, I know what you wish to say. I don't like to drag out conversation. Had Cyrus not stopped the experiment all those years ago, the plan would most likely still. It's no use talking about what ifs. I'm not like my grandfather. The Temple of Silence has a grand legacy, but I see things a little differently. I don't believe the temple has the same stature that it once did. Time has worn away at its... So I'm not going to force your hand. You're all free to leave.
You have courage, and I truly wish that the temple would take an objective look at and things will only continue to improve.
If you hadn't betrayed my grandfather, I might well be open to persuasion.
Tainari made a good point earlier. All you and Ba Moon are after is the Ba fragment. The professor will accept whatever fate you ultimately. You want to trade the Ba.
I'm glad to see you're giving it some.
I won't forsake my professor. Nor do I intend to run from a
That works. Oh, my grandfather still has a fair few things.
Are you sure about negotiating with him?
I need to think this through. Everyone, let's meet again later tonight. Until then, take some.
All right, well, don't put too much pressure on yourself, Sino. If you need any help working things out, just come and find us.
I've taken some time to reflect on this. If I had to guess, Professor Cyrus came to the desert knowing that he would almost certainly never return. He's a stubborn man who tends to double down when he feels strongly about something.
I agree. My master Nephis says the same thing.
So that's one thing. You've heard all you need to hear about the Temple of Silence. My own memories of this place are hazy, though. Probably something to do with the overpower. I do remember having some fleeting moments of profound emotion when vague images would appear. I was still young then, and all I could understand was that there was a strong will inside my mind. Thinking back on it now, I suppose it was Hermanubis' way of trying to encourage me, even if we couldn't. The power that came to inhabit my spirit was probably one of the cornerstones of their whole faith. So if the will and might of Hermanubis is a real...
You're not gonna give in to their demands, are you? Surely there has to be a...
No, I have no intention of returning it. I need this power to protect Sumeru. So I will challenge them head on.
This reminds me of something Alhaitham mentioned to me just before we left. He said that the Kaveh has made similar observations about the desert tribes from his work trips there. He says many of them have their own internal rules. They talk about the importance of never dishonoring their tribal bond. I think we could turn that to our advantage. Go.
Wow, and just like that, we've turned the...
Looks like we have the same idea. Turn it back on them now while we still can. In terms that they cannot
Great. And I know...
Sethos.
Have you made up your mind?
We'll get to that, but first, I have some degree of medical...
I have no objections, although we do have our own Follow me. Keep your voices down. We don't want...
Let's talk outside. Bamoon has fallen into a deep coma, and his prognosis is quite grave. He appears to have sustained a serious injury in his youth, which has been exacerbated over the years. Regretfully, I must inform you that, based on what I...
Yeah. You're his heir, aren't you? You clearly have a lot of respect for the man. But you also see things differently. You have a broader range of concerns and a more... So tell me how we can end this on your terms.
Yeah, there's no time to waste here. You know that better.
You know, the two of you are actually in a very similar predicament right now.
Right. And you didn't create this situation. They did, but...
You're right. We both look at this problem very differently than the people I accept, Sino. This all began because of Hermanubis. So let's end. Legend has it that when Hermanubis first arrived in Tuletula, he sparred with the city's That group of supporters were some of the first members of the Temple of Silence.
Sounds very fitting.
As a fellow vessel of Hermanubis, your ties to the Temple of Silence run
3 against 3.
However, I have some additional terms. As the challengers, you must win all 3 of your fight. Letting Cyrus leave with one of the Ba fragments was a mistake, made by my grandfather out of pity. It is a long-standing issue that must be...
None needed. If I win, the Temple of Silence, if you win.
It's a deal. Then let's meet at the ceremonial hall.
Well, after how that went,
There never was. Turning back hasn't been an option.
You have to win. You need this power.
Yeah, that's right. Besides, it stayed with you ever since you were a small...
Both, yeah. When you put it that way. I've had to...
Exactly.
The Traveler and I...
And neither shall I. The desert was home to an ancient and great civilization that for a variety of reasons. But there must be personal factors at work here too. I can't shake the feeling that Bamoon cares for many more things than he lets on. Tomorrow.
We gather on this day to perform once more the rite. This is our most sacred of ceremonies, and no disruption from the audience shall be tolerated. It is incumbent upon all to observe the duel with the utmost respect and reverence throughout the representing the Temple of Silence.
Grandfather, you're here.
A rite of duels, after all.
I know what I'm doing, Grandfather.
Representing the Academia, the Challenger.
Ready. We will fight.
Warriors, take your... We come not to debate what brings our challengers here, nor what will become of the defeated duel.
Huh? Are you sure?
I agree. She's very strong. Sending her out first will definitely...
Okay, but
sure.
We have decided.
So have we. Let's begin.
Duelists of the first bout, please step forward.
Don't forget, safety first! better play nice with her. Paimon will make you regret it.
Little bit too much chatter from the audience over there.
A swift end to the first bout. I now when you're both ready.
Let's begin.
Watch out!
He drank plenty of water before the bout, so he should be fine.
Let's nip that in the bud. Can't see?
Thus ends the second bout.
I'm ready.
So am I.
This is the final stage, when you're both...
I am Sethos. For many years, we have kept our covenant with Lord Hermanubis by guarding the secrets of... We earnestly sought Lord Hermanubis' wisdom and Now, I will fight.
I am Sino, General Mahamatra of the Academia, student and successor of Cyrus, the Sage of Spontamod. I fight in defense of my... And you. I think you left some things unsaid. This is a sacred duel. And...
Everyone. Old. My grandfather is a wise leader, but our faith has held us back for too long. After our times have changed, the people of Sumeru are happier and more... Then I thought of you, Sino. Each Ba fragment of Hermanubis stands for something different. I once thought that the nature of our fragments...
I am more than just a war...
Exactly.
The name Hermanubis has left its mark on both of us. So show me your answer, Sino. Show me I can be more than my faith, more than the power Bring it on!
That's all you've got? What happened is searching for your answer. Fight's over. Do you yield?
You won.
Well then, looks like you found your answer.
I give his glory to you.
I've seen that light. That is the light of our Lord, the great Hermanubis, priest over all other priests. His spirit dwells within that lightning, and his will lives on. Once a warrior of Tynar, he emerged from the barren desert sands to serve the god king Al-Akhmar. After the death of the god king, Hermanubis gathered his followers and the Tynarian priests and led them to the city of Tula. There, they founded the Temple of Silence, and from that day forth, we became stewards of all knowledge that survived from King Deshret's civilization. Barely a century passed before war ravaged the desert. One by one, Eremite leaders took up arms against each other in battles that would devour what little remained of their civilization. Only the wise city of Tula was spared under the guiding hand of the Tynarians. But peace did not last. Coveting the knowledge of King Deshret, the beasts set their eyes on Tula. The king of Gurabad laid siege to the city and ordered the sages to surrender to him the Temple of Silence as proof of his victory. The ruling elite colluded with their oppressors, betraying the temple so as to hold on to their rule over the city. They declared that the knowledge guarded by the temple was the true cause of corruption. These were dark days, and we faced enemies on all sides. Our Lord had long since exhausted his strength, keeping the forbidden knowledge introduced by King Deshret at bay. To ensure the temple's continued survival, he broke his being into many pieces and began the ceremony of Hermanubis' legacy, bestowing his power upon his mortal followers. With this power, the temple was able to defeat the tyrant's army. Yet, we were not hailed as heroes. Strange and unfamiliar as this power was, it struck fear into the people's hearts and drove them to reject us. In the end, the people of the temple and the Tula Tynarians left the city for good and made their way to the rainforest. What followed next was inevitable. The elite of Tula fell and were decimated. War engulfed the desert. And we wandered from place to place, always in hiding, all the while keeping close watch over our secrets and staying true to our mission. Betrayal forced us out of the desert and into the forest. Then mistrust drove us from the forest into the desert once more. We have lived in exile for far, far too long. Yet, today, the Temple of Silence has borne witness to the glory of Hermanubis once more. Thank you.
How is it? Do you feel okay?
grandfather.
Hey, Sethos. You'll get through this.
I know. I'll miss him.
I guess you were prepared for this. It's been a long time coming, huh?
Yeah, he's been on death's door for a very long time now. I think it was only through sheer willpower that he managed to hold on to this point. At least, he was able to see this chapter come to a close before he passed.
What's next for you?
Per my grandfather's last wishes, the Temple of Silence should submit to whoever possesses the largest number of Hermanupis fragments. That entitles you to be our new leader, Sino.
But that's never going to work, as I'm sure you realize. I'm the General Mahamatra. I am needed back at the Academia. I did foresee this possibility, and I gave it some thought. The fact is, I know next to nothing about the staff, records, and environment here, Sethos. Were it not for this duel, or indeed if you had other intentions, the Ba fragments would most likely be in your hands by now. I'm sure I do.
Still, I didn't think Bamoon looked very surprised by the final result. Perhaps he had an inkling that this would be the way things end.
Well, in any case, since the Ba fragments are with me now, Sethos, I would like you to succeed Bamoon as the new leader.
But doesn't that render
No, it doesn't. This experience has allowed us to become friends, which means that the Academia and the Temple of Silence will become partners once more. That's a much bigger deal than you might think, Sethos. You said yourself, times have changed. You have to believe that things...
I will try. To be honest...
Actually, part of me wonders whether Bamoon's intentions from the very beginning, that way, no matter who won, one of us would have to surrender. Had you won, the Temple of Silence, and were I to win, he correctly anticipated that I wouldn't suddenly drop everything to become the leader of the temple, much less integrate the temple into the act. He knew that the temple's future would depend not just on the guidance of Hermanubis, but the support of the Academia too. His plan meant that whoever ended up succeeding him, they would have an easier time interacting with the Academia.
And here I thought the General Mahamatra wouldn't care for all these trips. You're absolutely right. Grandfather and I considered this from every angle. We had to find a way to mend our... Thank you for everything, Sina. The Temple of Silence has a wealth of information on King Deshret's civilization. More than any other organization in existence. But you must be exceedingly careful with your selection of candidates. By the way, Tainari, my grandfather was so happy. The story goes that King Deshret chose the sage Hermanubis. He went on to fight many valiant battles with his Tainarian companions. They always stood by each other. From the Tainarians who left Tuletula, joined their human counterparts in the rainforest. A few centuries later, when some of the group returned to the desert, many of the Tainarians chose to stay and put down roots in the rainforest. In all likelihood, those were your ancestors.
How fascinating. My father once mentioned that I was named after the Tainarians, but I never knew that my forebears had such a history with the Temple of Silence.
I like this story.
By the way...
Yes, Cyrus. You'll probably find him in my grandfather's room.
If it's true that you and your grandfather really planned for everything to turn out this...
Who knows? Perhaps all of us.
Someone's got to make the decisions when history is at a I will make a detailed report on all of this to Lesser Lord Kusanali, and arrange for an official delegation from the Academia to come and meet you in the desert. I'm sure you'll have lots to attend to in the days ahead. But once things return to normal, please come and visit the rainforest again. You should stay for a few days this time, if we're going to work together. But
I will. All right, well...
See you soon. Come hang out with us anytime.
What were you thinking gallivanting off into the desert alone at your age? What if you take the bucket, You told not a soul what you were up to, designated nobody to handle your affairs, and left everyone scrambling frantically to try and figure out how on earth to clean up the Colossus.
Oh, please, will you stop your yelling?
What do you mean, what other choice? Do you mean to tell me that after all your years of learning, and sagehood no less, the only idea you could conjure up in that white-haired walnut of yours was to shoot off into the unknown like some hot-headed, one-man suicide mission, That's the best idea that one of the finest minds of a generation could come up with, is it? It astounds me that you survived the journey, and you're lucky that Ba Moon didn't finish you off when you arrived.
All right. Honestly, the way you're going off...
I've got nothing more to say.
What do you mean, bag of bones? I'm a flesh and blood hero, who despite it... Okay, look. Fine, I admit it.
Inari's master is really laying into Cyrus. Let's get...
Professor brought this on himself.
Wow, I haven't seen Master get this. The last time he chewed someone out like this must have been back when I was still a student.
I think I'll go around and update everyone. Tell them the situation. We can go for dinner afterwards.
Makes sense. I'm in.
Hyman's coming to...
Hey, Kale.
You're back! Well, look who we have here. Would you mind explaining to me what has been going on the past few days?
All taken care of.
That does not answer my question. When you run into problems, you really ought to ask for help, you know? I've been around the block. Don't you think it would have made sense to involve me? And let's not forget, I know the desert like the back of my hand.
Now would not be a good time to attempt to argue with Farazan.
You're right.
It's not the first time that I've had to talk to you about this sort of thing either. You need to learn that there are times when the right thing to do is get a more experienced member of staff involved.
Kale, please do something.
He's giving me the signal. All right.
Say, Madam Farazan, I can see you're pretty upset.
Huh? Wait, did I hear that right? Kale, you remember? Wonderful. Well, of course the offer still stands.
Poor Kale getting dragged off like that. Also, check how far was...
Kale! Cup!
Huh? What? What do you mean, cup? You need a cup?
Oh, it's nothing. Just Master's way of reminding me to stay hydrated while I'm out and about.
It's code for let's reconvene at the cafe. Tainari and I used it while we were in school, and it's become something...
Oh, that's kind of fun.
2 people left. Let...
Yeah! Scatter! Yeah! Skyward! Scatter!
Am I hallucinating? Or do I see Kaveh and Alhaitham engaged in...
We're just reorganizing all the books we used. Look, there's a whole...
There's no rush. Nobody reads. My sincere thanks to you both.
Yes, with your help, we resolved the issue rather swiftly.
I see. The Temple of Silence resorted to rather unique means of self...
And it sounds like they managed to preserve a whole load of ancient documents as well.
That day will come. The Temple of Silence is a hugely important organization. Now, as a token of my appreciation...
Yeah, sounds great. Although, after the last few days, I don't...
Sure.
And then the Traveler just pounced on their opponent and knocked him right. Then there was Tainari. He put up an amazing fight too. We ended up winning all 3 bouts.
Whoa. Part of me wishes I'd been there to see it, but...
A truly edifying account of the events. Bereft of detail.
Hey, Paimon included all the juicy details. The Traveler just pounced and then waved their sword like this. Then
Despite winning 3 bouts in a row, you still ceded the position of leader to...
Of course. Being dignified.
I got to be a champion too for once. I've not sparred much with desert folk before.
Yeah! Huge place! It felt like something right out of an epic poem! Imagine this. It was like there was...
Maybe save that one for later, Paimon.
I think that'll do me for...
Shall we stop off at the House of Dana again before heading home?
My thoughts exactly. See you around.
I should get going as well. See you all later.
I need to go say thanks to the Core 30 for their help. Also, Sir Nephis says he wanted to introduce me to some of the Academia's work processes.
Kali's come a long way. She's much more confident.
Everyone's a work in progress. You never stop.
Yeah, true.
That was good. It feels like everything's finally wrapped up now. Life is all about these moments when you can finally relax and hang out with good friends after a job well done. And also, those desserts Sino got, they were really good. Paimon definitely needs more of those.
Do you 3 have anything planned for the If not, would you come somewhere with me? That's a secret.
Okay. I think I can guess what you're talking about.
Well, now Paimon...
Take it easy.
Been a while since I last Need any help?
That's a nice spot, isn't it?
What a great view! We're so high up, we can see for miles!
Traveler, turn around. This is my secret base. When I was a student, I used to slip away and climb up here all the time. Back then, I had a lot of the same questions that Sethos was asking. Our gifts help us to find our rightful place in the world.
You two really are like brothers.
I feel the same way.
I still remember one time when we came up here to chat and do our homework. Sino accidentally dropped a fruit. Luckily,
that was the one and only time. Nothing will ever slip through my fingers again.
Those were good times.
You know, Paimon really shouldn't be able to imagine Sino doing something like that, but for...
Then make it stop. It's... You guys carry on without me.
Okay.
Huh? Hey, you're not supposed to jump...
Futile!
Oh, my days.
Professor, what are you muttering to yourself about?
Sino. Just the man I'm looking for. Guess what?
Some old photos?
Can you believe it? This notebook was just sitting in a pile of odds and ends in the sage's office. I must have forgotten to take it with me. I was at the Academia earlier to discuss my... Oh, time flies. Look how tiny you are in this picture.
You look quite young yourself in that. Ah, it's this one.
Yep, looks like her work all right. Who else could have found just the right angle to make me look so unbelievably hideous?
And this one. What's a...
Oh, cheeky girl, taking secret photos of us.
Is there something you'd like to say to me, Professor?
Like what? Like, these are... hey, at moments like this, I hardly know... I can't pretend I'm a good person. But Moon had every reason to despise me. And well...
Don't be...
I've dreamt of that place many times after leaving the desert. Sometimes I've dreamed that I was doing a search with him again. And other times, I dream of the day they saved my life. Oh, it was... You've matured so much over the years, I know.
Since you're my professor, I should save you some face by not calling you out on all the non-answers you...
Good thinking. Take your own advice next. Seriously, why bully an old man like me? I thought... Hey, wait, how did I not notice this one earlier?
Lisa strikes again. Just...
Look how cute you were when you were little. I remember how well-mannered you were back then.
Yeah, and look how serious and professional you used to be.
Oh, I can't compete with you anymore. First you get better than me at the deadpan jokes, and now...
Don't say that. I still have a lot of respect for you.
That's more like... Hey.
I'd like that.
All right, I'll add it to my schedule. Wait, no. Next week is the tomato growing competition. I have got...
Or you could find a real...
I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again.
You must properly care for the rainbow crystal.